Welcome to Soltron. This is the video review for Shinkalion Change the World, Hades. Here's a size comparison of the combined form. It's about 11 inches. And here's a look at the front of the box, and you can see the artwork is just really beautiful. You get an awesome shot of the robot head, and then all the mechanical details looks really good. The colors just really pop on this. And then you get all the different forms. So you get the train to robot, which you've seen like numerous times. That's just all these figures now. And then he comes with like a partner, dog, bat. And then they have a train mode. And then the combined mode, which I already showed you. And then the mode that uses like all the bat and dog pieces for one of the robots. So there you go. And then this is the combined mode with Phantom, which is the same as this. And this guy does come with a few stickers that you put on, which I haven't applied because I'm not planning on keeping this figure. And then he does come with his instruction manual, which has a huge problem. So let's look through these instructions. So you get this page, which is how to assemble the train mode, right? You get this page, which is how to make the single Hades robot. You get this page, which shows you how to make Orthros, the dog. You get this page, which shows you how to basically take apart Orthros and Minyades and make the combined single robot form. And then you get this page, which shows you how to make the train out of Orthros and Minyades. You need both of those pages. And then you get this page, which shows you how to make the combined form torso, which is the same as the other Shinkalion pages. And you get this page, which shows you how to make the combined form limbs. But you notice that these limbs are not the same as this guy's limbs. Those limbs were made of the other Shinkalion figures. These limbs are made of the beast modes. So the instructions don't even show you how to make this combined form. I made this by looking at the back of the box and figuring things out. I cannot understand why this was not in the directions. This guy is pretty complicated, even by Shinkalion standards. I have no idea where these pieces go because it's not written in the instructions. So I don't know. I'm sure they go somewhere, but that's already the beginning of like the annoyance of this figure. Okay, and here we go. We get a 360 view of this combined mode. So you can see Phantom is making up the torso and the part of the forearm, really just the forearm armor. So this is the same as the 3 robot combiner, except for you've only got 2 robots, and then you got the bat and the dog making up the arm and the leg. So he looks okay. These wings are obviously too small. They don't look intimidating. The combined weapon looks horrible. This claw arm is kind of cool. This beast leg is okay too. I'm not too mad about the limbs, but the wings are terrible. And then this combined weapon, it just looks like it's made out of a bunch of gummy candy. It's not good. And then the head is pretty cool. I don't mind the dog hoodie. It's not terrible. And I kind of like it because it invokes Cerberus, because now he's got like the central dog head, and then his 2 shoulders are the other dog heads, because this shoulder kind of matches this one, and then he's got the middle head here, which is kind of cool. I'm not horribly against that, actually. It kind of works because these heads are a little pointier. So I kind of like that homage to Cerberus. But the hood head's kind of annoying because you can't turn the head or anything. It's just stuck in place. You have to open that if you want him to look around, and then you put it back in. Well, you can't even really do that because now his head's too wide. So he can only really look straight on for this to work correctly. And then you can also like cover his head completely if you wanted to. Actually, that's kind of cool, actually. I kind of just like having the dog head there. But at least he has a combined head, so that's something that he kind of beats the original combiner on, because this one has his tiny little head. But I think the original combiner just looks better because the legs and arms are consistent, whereas this just looks like slop. These the leg and arm just do not look good together. Maybe I'm just being picky about it, but I do like this claw arm. It looks very beastly, but it looks like it's missing parts. It should have formed like a giant fist or something, or a giant claw arm instead of, I don't know what this is supposed to be, like a slashing weapon maybe. And it's got this giant port here where something should go in there and make something that looks more like a weapon, like maybe his ugly gummy candy weapon can become, should have like ported in here that and become kind of like a spear or like a multi launcher or something. But yeah, let's look at this weapon. I mean, look at this. It looks delicious, which is not great. And of course it's all rubber. So okay, maybe if we just look at them without their weapons, and of course he's got a much cooler sword, which I don't have out right now, but yeah, this one just wins. It's easy to read, and this one just looks messy and weird, and there's just like a bunch going on. He just doesn't work. So I'm not a fan of this combine mode at all, especially compared to the original, which was nice and clean, good color separation. This one, like the neon green, just doesn't really work. If the purple was a neon color, this could kind of work better, I think, but they don't blend well together at all. They clash a lot. But yeah, that's this combined mode. He's got all the same articulation. So you got an elbow joint here, you got one click in and out here, you got bicep rotation, you've got these weak little hips that they always have. And I think this guy's even a little bit heavier, especially with his backpack. So the hips are more of an issue than usual. And then you got this weird thing with the knee. So this knee is built in right here, but this knee is way down here. So the knees are kind of in different places. It looks like it mostly evens out. And then these terrible hips. And then you do have the ankle tilt here, but you don't have any pivot. So the leg is kind of a weird shape. It looks like it is mostly straight. And then this leg, of course, has your pivot, and it's got your tilt, or I guess I did that backwards, pivot and tilt. This one also has pivot and tilt, but yeah, he's not any more fun than the other figure to really pose. And then you're gonna have a bad time because of the hips on these guys just fail. And I think this guy had the same issue. Actually, what? So it looks like Hayabusa's hips are actually better, because yeah, he's not just falling over, and this guy just, Phantom just loves to fall over. It's his favorite thing to do. Yeah, he hates standing up. So not great. Okay, and here's how he would look if Phantom just became the limbs, the Phantom limbs, and then Hades becomes the main torso, and then here's how the head would look, which is kind of cool. I think Phantom works better because he already kind of looks like he's made out of, his jaw already looks like bottom teeth. But this kind of works pretty nicely. And actually, these hips are a little bit better than Phantom's. So Phantom is just a bad torso, it seems like. So this is actually better. So Phantom's hips are just not very good for this. But yeah, this looks okay. It's okay. I think the vanilla combination looks better. So to get this guy into a one-part combiner, we're going to just rip off all his limbs, same as you would always do with these things. And then the thing that flew off was the little tail connector in the back. So we just go ahead and take off everything, and then we're going to need these hips. So we recollect these. We're going to put those onto Hades' body. And then we might as well leave the bat back here. You're going to want these combiner pieces, and you just get rid of these. These have no purpose. And then the dog hat, you're going to take that off and just have this bat in the back. And then you dig through all these pieces. These are all dog pieces, and now this combiner foot serves no purpose in any other form, so you just go ahead and discard this. The beast foot is gone. This combiner foot also doesn't really serve a purpose. You can add it to the train mode at least. You can't do that with the other beast foot. You're going to need Hades' arms, so we go ahead and reconnect those to his body, of course. Okay, nothing special there, and we're going to go, of course, put on his shoulder pads, because that's how all these guys transform. We've seen this several times. And then we got to find his legs, which are here on the back of the combined arms. And then we're just going to attach those to his thighs here. And there we have basically Hades' body. And then we already got him like mostly in the combined form, so we might as well get him all the way there. So we're going to take these little fancy bits here. So this is all formed from the legs. So you're going to get these pieces, which are the feet. And then of course this will be the back of Orthros. And then you're going to just peg the feet into his feet. And then these pieces become his shin armor. So like little shin flames. Okay, and then we're going to get this pelvis piece, and we just stick that onto here. And then we're going to go ahead and grab some of these parts. We're going to go ahead and get the dog piece out of here. This is going to do nothing in this mode. And you're going to get these claws. And these are going to get onto his forearms. And that's basically his entire combined mode, and we might as well make Orthros while we have all these extra parts. So this is going to make his hindquarters, of course, and then you straighten out these legs, and this is going to make his forequarters, and then you spread out this combiner joint, and these are going to make his neck, and you want the pointy face to be on this side and the fat dog face to be on this side, and then you want to get that piece seem to have no function in his combined mode, and that's going to become the fat head's, ow, that actually pinched me, the fat head's jaw. And the fat head kind of sits lower and the skinny head sits taller. Does it look dumb? Yeah, kind of. I do appreciate the fat head though, because he does become the hoodie, so I understand he's got to be different. But yeah, you got the skinny, cool looking face, and then this one which doesn't match the body at all. So you got this long, skinny body. He looks okay. And then you got this like dismembered bat. And then you got Hades himself, his combined form, which looks pretty good. And we can compare that to Phantom. So that's kind of cool looking. So not too bad. And then you can grab all of his flame bits or whatever and just stick those all over him. And then here he is with all his flame effect parts. So you add a little bit to his feet, his hips, and then you get, of course, his dual swords, which is cool. I don't know. This is very underwhelming. Like, these flame effects don't add much. The swords are very cool. I do like those. The wings fit this figure much better than the combined mode. So I don't hate this. He looks pretty cool, I have to admit. I'm not. And then the claws on his forearms, I think, are really solid armor. And then his armored up legs are pretty cool. So not bad. I think this looks pretty good all in all, but you are left over with like just this torso of Mignades, the bat, is just like ripped apart, unfortunately. And then you do have his fairly sick looking little dog over here. And then if you want, you can open their jaws. And then the leg articulation just goes forward and backwards. That's it. There's no outward motion, so you can't get like an intimidating looking pose where it looks like they're about to pounce or something. All you can do is do that. And then you can sort of get him to like look like he's sitting, I guess. Sure. And then yeah, you can get these effects and you can just stick it in his mouth ports and it can look like he's just spewing fire, sort of. I think and it's kind of annoying that these posts are rubber. It can make it hard to get in. But yeah, I think this could have looked very cool if the effects parts were just not so sad. Um, yeah, and if they actually surrounded his body in a way that he looks like he was flaming, but yeah, I mean, does this look cool? Not to me. Not really. It just doesn't really do anything. And then, yeah, I think these are better served maybe adding to his wings, making it look like his wings are kind of on fire a little bit. Give him a little bit extra fire aura. But yeah, if we just take all his extra little bits off, is this a lot worse? I don't think so. I think he still looks very intimidating, and he's got such an excellent head sculpt. So unique compared to anything else we've seen in Shinkalion. I don't think he looks too bad just like this. I kind of wish they just sold this basic figure with his two swords. I'm perfectly happy with just this thing. I don't think his little minions really add anything. So for the dog, all those little bits we took off, we're just going to stick on him, like the feet sections, or actually these shin sections are just going to peg onto his back now. So we get those back here. We can get that pelvis section and we're just going to stick that onto his tail. I like to do it facing this way. It kind of looks like a scorpion stinger. Oh, this thing's right. He was still in sitting pose. So this kind of looks like a scorpion tail now, which is kind of cool. And then you get his, like I said, these little feet pieces are probably the worst. They just stick right on his hips and just make them really cumbersome looking for no reason. They add nothing to him. And there's Orthros, and he looks okay. Like, you could add all these flame effects wherever if you wanted to, if that makes him look cooler somehow. There we go. There he is with his little flame effects on. He looks okay. And then you could have Hades ride him, but it looks very dumb. He's definitely not the right size for this. It does look like somebody just sitting on a Doberman. So yeah, definitely not made for that. Okay, and then let's get the Mignades pieces. You're going to shove this combiner port into the bat mouth basically, and now this is going to become the bat's body up here. So now you need to rip off the wings and put these here. And then we're going to grab these claw pieces and just put them up here. Now you have this giant bat, which is as big as half a figure, and it looks dumb. It's got these really dorky looking eyes. It really defeats how intimidating this set is supposed to be. And he can sort of stand up if you put his wings like this, and he's got wings that rotate. So you can get him standing up, and this is the only way he'll stand up. If you don't have the wings supporting him, he's just going to fall over because this is his legs for some reason. Yeah, not great. So to get everything into their combined train mode, you're just going to rip off all these pieces. Let's just go ahead and take everything apart. We're going to end up with a lot of different parts. And we're just going to fold up the legs. Go ahead and get all these fire bits off because these have nothing to do with the train mode. They just do nothing. You're going to rip these two parts apart. Just compress everything as much as possible. You're going to get these feet, and these are just going to reattach here. Done, and then you're going to take this train cockpit. This is going to slide into this, and then you're going to get the blue dog head, and he's just going to collapse into this, and that will become the front of the train. Then you're going to get these claw pieces, and they're just going to stick up here. And then the wings will just peg on to the side of this train, basically right there. Then we got to grab this little tail piece and put that back up here. I took that off for no reason. And then you got to get, remember these things? You got to get these, not that one. And you're just going to peg him on right onto his platform, and he's now a train. Here we go, dog train, or one of the trains complete. You actually need the dog and the bat pieces. And now we got to get the other train. We got to figure out how these legs go. You just basically collapse everything the best you can. It definitely works with you very well. And then these are going to stay split because they're going to slide inside of this bat piece, and everything will mate into place. And you got the front of the train, and you're going to get the dog head and just shove that into here. We're going to take those shin armors and just peg those right back up here. And then you're going to peg him onto the other sled. And it's kind of nice that these two train sections do connect, because with this entire line, these trains haven't really been able to connect. So you can do this, and then where does this go? It goes nowhere, because it could kind of attach to the back of this, but then it just won't fit in place. So there is a port right there where you can peg this. Actually, the port is back here. You could peg it here, but then you won't be able to connect these trains. So this actually goes nowhere. See, now these trains can't even sit down because this big foot is in the way, and it doesn't peg in here either. So this, and it's not in the directions. There's no place for this to go. So useless kibble, poor design. And the other sled, of course, is for Hades, and he looks epic, just really great. And you can also notice there's a nice silver speckling in this metal, or this black, which just makes it look so metallic and beautiful. Like, what a great looking train. I love this thing. I hate that it just comes with these. I consider these to be junk. They add nothing. They make the whole thing worse. They just don't add anything. And then, of course, we got all the combiner pieces. This one can go nowhere, but at least this one can go on the train. But yeah, this was about $65 on Amazon Japan. If you can tolerate all this parts forming, you might like it. Or if you're really into Cerberus, you might like the combined form. But I just don't think it's worth the money. I would gladly pay like $35 just for this. But the rest is it's just no good. I just don't think these two animals really add anything to it, and it makes the transformation more complicated. And they just don't look good in their animal forms. It really just doesn't justify all this extra pieces. Hades does look good with all the wings and everything attached. The combiner is kind of cool, but I really would have just preferred having 3 robots like this, like a hot pink one, maybe a neon purple one, and this guy, and these 3 just to combine into a robot the same way that the original combiner does. I think this guy just looks so much cooler in his combined mode. Yeah, the Orthrus and Miniades just don't make convincing limbs. They don't look good. So I wouldn't recommend this figure. If they ever sell this guy as a recolor, as a standalone figure, then yes, definitely get Hades. He looks amazing. But otherwise, I wouldn't say it's really worth the money. So I'll see you in the next one. Let me know your thoughts.